This video is designed to show you some of the many features of School Data Analyser that can be accessed from the staff homepage, which is normally the first thing you will see when you log into the program. The screen is individualized for each member of staff depending on the job role. So for example, if you are a tutor, it will relate to items for that tutor group. For year heads, it will show items for their year group, and so on. The screen itself is divided into 6 main sections. On the left you will see the timetable area, school calendar section, favourites list, attendance summary, pastoral summary and pastoral referrals for that particular year group or tutor group, and so on. Let's take each of these sections in turn. And for most of the sections there is a small triangle at the top which will allow you to maximise that section. We'll take each of those in turn. Timetable section then will show the timetable for that member of staff, and if you have a 2-week timetable you can easily swap between one and the other. If the member of staff has any lessons that are supported, for example with teaching assistants, then there will be shading to indicate the class that has that support. You can, if you click on the maximise button, then show a printed report for the member of staff's timetable. Below the timetable there is a list of the classes taught by the member of staff, and there are various things you can do from that as well. If you click on one of the classes here, the class list will then appear in the middle screen here, which can of course be maximised and therefore printed. If you click on the star next to one of those classes, you will be able to see the photos for that class. Now, as this is a demo version, these have been changed into demo blurred photographs, but of course the sample image will not appear on the real program. If you double click on one of these classes here, it will open the interim report grade entry screen, from where you can enter grades for that student, or sorry, for the students in that class for a particular reporting session, and we'll cover that in a different video. Coming back to the staff homepage then, we'll move on to the next section. The calendar section will show all calendar events from the current date till the end of the year in chronological order, and although that will contain most of the information you need, if you wish to view the entire year's calendar, and if you wish to print that, you can click on the maximise arrow as before. Going down to the favourites section, now when of course you first use the program you will see very little in this screen, but the number of items and the order of those items will build up as you get used to using the program more frequently. This shows the items that they use most frequently in order, with the most common item at the top there, and if you click on any one of these items you can open that directly. So for example, if you wish to do some multiple accommodations for a group of students, clicking on that will open the multiple accommodations screen. You can then select a number of students or a particular teaching group or a tutor group, and then do multiple accommodations as required for those students, and we'll cover that again in a separate video. If you wanted to look at, for example, student info, click on that on there, select the student concerned, click OK, and the student info screen opens, and this will allow you many different types of detail about that student, including attendance records, pastoral information, and so on and so forth. Moving to the right hand side here, we have 3 sections. The attendance summary for the tutor group is shown, rather small to see, but you can get an idea of students who may have particular issues, for example a large number of absences, and each one of these areas is covered in different coloured codes. Large version can be seen here, which is a lot more easy to understand, and you can see in this case all of the students in the tutor group, the percentage of time for which they're present, have authorised absence, unauthorised absence in red, and so on. If we wish to, we can then change the view here. We can print the chart version of that, or we can see the data behind that chart by clicking on print detail. Going back to here, we can look at individual students. So for example, if we wish to look at this person here, we select the arrow there, click like this, This will then open a screen for that student, and you can see the individual sessions which they've been present or absent, pie charts and attendance codes. We can also change this to show, for example, the tutor groups in the year, all of year 8, and see whether there's any data there that shows changes or differences between the groups, whole year groups, and see whether there's again any variation between these. Moving back, we can also look at Pastoral Summary for a particular year group or tutor group and so on. And if we close that and go back to the main home page here, clicking on this Pastoral Summary then again allows you to see this more clearly. We can see the number of merits in green, demerits in red, and number of incidents, pastoral incidents in blue, and show how this varies for all the students in the tutor group. Now if we want to look at, for example, one of these students in rather more detail, let's look at Jamie Jackson, for example, here. Select them in the same way as before. This will open the pastoral records for that student. We can, in pretty much the same way as we did for the attendance summary, work through all the tutor groups in a year, all the year groups and so on, and we can print a chart or print detail, show the data behind that chart. Finally, if we look at the last section on the home page here, this will show the recent pastoral referrals for the tutor group in this case. On the right hand side of the title bar here, number 19 is shown in a red box, and this indicates the number of outstanding pastoral records marked for your attention that haven't yet been dealt with. If we click on that, this will show those items and allow you to then deal with those as necessary. Moving back to this main screen here, if you want to look at all the recent referrals for the tutor group, including those that you may have already dealt with, clicking on this arrow here shows a similar sort of screen but with a larger number of items in this case, because you've already dealt with some of these before. If you want to, you can look at an individual student in more detail. So if I wish to look at this student here, this will show all the pastoral records for that student, in this case a very, very positive set of records or positive referrals, and in this case a rather less positive one. This pretty much all of the staff homepage covered, but just to mention a couple of other things before we finish. I hope you'll feel that the staff homepage allows you to pretty much do most of the things you want to do in School Data Analyser fairly conveniently from one area here. But if there are any areas that you need to get to that are not available directly, go to the main menu screen, and that allows you to view not only those areas you've already looked at from the home page, but other areas that you may not have done, for example to deal with detentions or for mentoring and so on. Going back to the home page, you can also access the extensive help and support system available for the program, and in this screen here it works much the same way as a Windows help system. A list of topics, we can look at an individual list of topics here, and if we wanted to know again more about multiple commendations, for example, click on that. There's a summary of how you actually use these, got more detail. It will show you the same sort of information but with images as well to help your understanding, and you can also go directly to that item from the home page. From the help feature there. The View Homepage Guide allows you to see a printed version covering many of the things I've discussed in this video. Finally, if you feel that you would prefer not to go to the home page when you first open School Data Analyser, if you untick this box here, it will allow you to go straight to the main menu screen and you will miss out this. But of course you can look at the home page from here. I just need to close that. Look at the home page from here if you ever need to return to it. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that this feature was a useful one and the video will help you actually access the program more easily.